time, good time, we having good time. Yeah, good time, good time, we having good time, good time. Yeah, good time, we having good time.
What's up, people? This is We That Edition. Favorite host, Trill Quet. And today, we getting into this Tank versus Roach. Crazy fight. Controversial, as most people say. Um, Tank versus Roach ends in a split, a majority draw. Tank gets one judge now with a 115 to 113 win, and the other two judges scored as a 114 draw. So let's get into it, right? This fight, most people coming into the fight predicted and thought Tank would knock this guy out because that's what Tank does. This guy, Lamont Roach, wasn't widely known. A lot of people didn't know, so a lot of people just, wrote him off and said Tank is, picking another guys from 130, moving him up. And he's just trying to, up his stats and up his scores and, get his money, get out of here, right? So then the fight goes on, goes 12 rounds, crazy controversial. Tank takes a knee, not a knockdown. A lot happens, and now we're here where a lot of people are saying Tank won, a lot of people are saying Roach won, which is why I believe the correct decision was a draw. So let's get into it. And let's talk Lamont Roach side, right? Lamont Roach was coming up from 130, but he's a bigger guy. He weighed in at 135, while Tank only weighed in at 133. Roach is a fundamentally sound boxer. He does not have much, power, feet work, or crazy defense, or movement, explosiveness. But he's technically sound. He's gonna keep his hands up and high, jab, and throw good shots and counter shots. And that's exactly what he did. He stood on his word. He wasn't afraid of Tank. He stood in there and banged with Tank. And to my eyes, fought Tank the best I ever seen somebody fought Tank since Mario Barrios. But Barrios got caught by Tank later in that fight, right? So there's a crazy parade right now on Roach's side that Roach is, he stood up, against Tank, and he did this, and he showed people he's the truth. He's one of the best fighters in the world. I think that's a bit extreme. I think he did show that he's a good fighter. He's a not great, but a B plus maybe fighter, B fighter. And Tank, to me, had an off night. I am not considering an off night, not just because he didn't get a knockout, because I didn't see what you usually see. I didn't see the extra gear that he usually takes it to by round 6, 7, 8. I didn't see really much of a game plan. I think that was the biggest thing. I think Tank missing Calvin was the biggest thing in this fight. I didn't see a game plan. I didn't see much of a, switch from the early rounds to the later rounds. I didn't see much of a, that single punch he was trying to set up, like the Frank Martin fight. He was setting up the uppercut. A lot of the fights he may set up the left uppercut or the left hook. I didn't see much of any setting up this fight. I seen a bunch of fingering him out and, boxing with this guy more because he has great boxing skills and lean onto his God-given talent to get a draw, right, to not lose. And I think that was the biggest thing. I think also Tank talking retirement is in the back of your mind. As soon as you, as an athlete, any sport, as soon as you say the word retirement, you've already mentally kind of did it. Because as soon as you say it, you start thinking about life after it. Because most athletes don't even know what's life after, their sport. So as soon as you start talking about it, you're already mentally kind of there. And I kind of seen that even with the build up. That's kind of what he kept talking about retirement. And it kind of showed. He looked it flat and he wasn't explosive as he usually be. So then let's get into the most controversial, the knee, taking a knee in the ninth round. I believe that should have been counted as a knockdown because you take a knee, it's automatically a knockdown, right? But the technically rules indicate that it's not unless the ref, decides to call it that. And this time the ref didn't decide to call it a knockdown. And I think like Tank wasn't hurt or he didn't go down because he was hurt. The head situation, I kind of believe you would look at the fight numerous of times. He was wiping his right eye in the corner. He was wiping his eye. He had kind of a little heated conversation with Calvin about, wiping his eye. Notice his left eye. On that punch, right before he kind of took the knee, Roach threw a hook and it grazed his right eye. And then he's sitting there wiping his left eye with his glove. Then he's looking at the ref, indicating like, my eye, and then took a knee. And he ran to the corner to get it wiped. It didn't give like, I'm hurt or I needed a break, but ultimately, yes, could have been knocked down, but it wasn't called as that. But That happens in all sports, right? Football, basketball, refs make mistakes. This time the ref made a mistake, and that's what it was. It wasn't, too crazy to me. It was a close fight, a 7-5 type of fight or a 6-6 type of fight. The early rounds, I think Tank won, and I think the later rounds, Roach picked it up. But I still think Tank won, 1 or 2 rounds in the later rounds, so that gave it a 7-5 Tank way. How that one judge scored it 115, 113. Now, the rematch, right? Tank and Roach have been going back and forth on Twitter, and the rematch is inevitable, and I think it's definitely going to happen now with the way the way have Roach has been talking. And I will guarantee anybody out there, this next fight is going to be a lot different. This is going to be a lot motivated Tank. I believe he's going to be back with Calvin, and he's going to really want to knock this guy out. I think he took it light on this guy because he respected him, retirement, and like I said, Calvin wasn't there. But I think the second fight will be a lot different. I think we will see an explosive Tank. That was Roach's best fight. There's no way Roach is going to fight better than that. That was his best. And if you tell me that was Tank's best, then you're a fool. That was not Tank's best. There was no explosive. There was no extra gear like you've seen for 30 fights. Now the 31st fight, you don't see it. It's an off night, and it wasn't laws, clearly laws. No, people trying to know. No, Roach outlanded him by 9 punches, but he threw 100 plus more punches. Tank was more effective if he landed more power punches. He out jabbed Tank, but everybody out jabs Tank. Like this fight was the definition of a close fight, which ended in a draw, and I'm not mad at that. But round two, the second fight, Tank punishes this guy. He takes it to another level. He shows no respect, no remorse, and he gets him out of there. But all those that's left Tank side, please stay there and keep the parade of getting a draw for you guys, Roach. And you know what it is. I'm true. I keep it two things: true, real. Peace.